So again, this is the Sacramento Kings dating game.
Well, so yes, because everybody, has some flaws, right? Has some things that you got to deal with. And I've got 3 scenarios. This really is like Love Connection. There was 3 contestants on Love Connection.
It's exciting.
3 contestants here. You've got John Collins in Utah, right? Evan Sittery said, the Kings, he actually started all this. He said the Kings have a plan A and a plan B. Cam Johnson, he was talking about that over the weekend. He said Cam Johnson is plan A. They're trying to work things out. But if it doesn't work out, they can go to plan B, which is John Collins. We've laid out a scenario here with Valanciunas and Kuzma, with the Wizards being worked out. And then Evan also said that the price for Kuzma is plummeting as we speak. It used to be a first rounder, and people have just laughed them out of the building. So who knows what they're willing to take back now. But in one contestant is John Collins.
I really wish I had game shows. I'm looking all over for like theme music, but all I have is our
you got
pocket watching.
You got John Collins, who is a really good fit, a really good ball player, and I think would be a really good addition to the Sacramento Kings. It feels like it would work out perfectly. Here's the issue with this person. You got to deal with Danny Ainge. And Danny Ainge could have you wasting your entire time for a deal that may not even happen.
He's been known to do that.
So while you look at John Collins, everybody said, John Collins, that's what I want. All right, man. Like there's a potential, and you can do it. I'm not saying don't, but there's a potential. You put all your energy into that deal, and then you get to February 7th, and Danny then just wasted your time the entire time. Just wasted it. So that's a scenario that you got to look at. With Brooklyn, you got Cam Johnson there. Now, Cam Johnson, he may be somebody that you can get cheaper than anybody, because it feels like it would just be Herter, but maybe you got to get rid of some picks. Maybe you got to come off a first-round pick. James was saying on the Insider, if the Kings, the word he's hearing is if the Kings were to improve the pick, the deal could be done today. And that says to me, they probably want – I'm assuming that the Kings aren't offering a first-rounder, and they want a first-rounder.
I think James mentioned something about unprotected pick too.
Yeah. Unprotected first-rounder. Do you want to do that? We'll see. The last one is Kuzma, and it may just be Kuzma by himself. Could be Kuzma and Valanciunas. That would be great as well. But that would probably mean that you have to give up Trey Lyles to match up the salaries. So now if it's just Kuzma, you're doing like damn near a 2-for-1 situation, and that's an issue because you don't have anybody coming back and you're losing a player in the deal. If you get Valanciunas involved, maybe that works out where you could just a 2-for-2 swap. But it's also cheap. Like you may not have to give up a lot of draft picks or a second rounder or a conditional second rounder or something like that. So with the 3 scenarios laid out, all things encompassing, not just the players, which road would you go down?
It's a tough decision here, pal.
I don't think Utah's real. Not because of John Collins, not because of but because of Danny Ainge. Danny Ainge had PH and Lauri Markkanen trades for months. Lauri Markkanen was never available. Now, maybe you said this before. Maybe if someone made an overly stupid offer, he'd take it. I don't think anyone was ever going to do that. I don't think he was truly ever available. So I'm eliminating John Collins from the conversation. Not the player, to be clear. I'm not eliminating John Collins, the player. Right. I'm eliminating the Utah Jazz and Danny Ainge in that situation.
Which is what you got to do when you break these things down. It's not just the player. It's who you got to work with and everything that comes with it. So in this case, you're saying, man, I got to deal with Danny Ainge, who probably not even serious. So I'm going to eliminate that.
Right. And then going to Cam Johnson, I'll use a term you used to use, the wart The thing you're hanging on is the protections or perhaps lack thereof of the pick.
Mhm.
And then Kuzma, I think what your issue is probably Kuzma
Yeah.
more than it is anything else. In the dating game scenario that you just presented, I'd go with Brooklyn.
I think that would be my first choice as well.
I think Cam Johnson is, if he's not the best player, okay, again, I'm eliminating Utah. I can't have John Collins in this conversation because I don't believe Danny Ainge. So between Kyle Kuzma and Cam Johnson, I like Cam Johnson in this situation. And the conditions of the pick don't bother me.
You would give up an unprotected first for Cam Johnson?
And only
Well, Kevin Huerter and an unprotected first.
Yeah, it's fine with me.
I don't hate that. Unprotected always is kind of wonky. Just
Maybe if you can ask for a second back, so you don't have nothing in terms of draft capital, but you probably have to work for that a little bit.
I already know how people are gonna
send him Kobe Jones.
Send him Kobe Jones. He got recalled from Stockton, I guess you could say.
It happens every day.
Yeah, it really does. I don't even know what
who went on. Was it Isaac Jones?
Isaac, yeah.
Someone had a
nice
a ball game.
They had 42 last night for Isaac Jones. Big ups to him. So I'm asking.
Don't do this.
I'm asking everybody. Okay. I know how the general public is going to respond to this. So you can put your 2 cents in, but I already know how you feel. Is Cam Johnson better than Kyle Kuzma?
Yeah, I think so.
What
For what
makes
the
him
Kings
better?
need. For what the Kings need, I think so.
You think he's a better player than Kyle Kuzma?
For the role that you'll be having Cam Johnson come in, yeah, I think he'd be better than Kyle Kuzma. I think Cam Johnson showed it with the Suns and all that. Like, this is I think he'd be a seamless fit. Kyle Kuzma, I think he'd be fine, but I got a little more questions on him than I do Cam Johnson.
To be clear, I think they both work.
But aside from working, do you guys think Cam Johnson is a better player than Kyle Kuzma?
I think they're the same. Maybe I think Cam's a little bit better.
I think Kyle's a little bit better.
Okay,
that's
fine.
Like
to me,
they're pretty close.
Yeah, I think if you went plus minus, it's marginal no matter what. I don't think there's no one to me who can make an argument that Cam is significantly better than Kyle Kuzma. There's no one who can make an argument that Kyle is significantly better than Cam.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. I agree. The only reason I asked that though is because there's for some people, you could be passing on the better player for what you think is a better fit. Like, I think their fit would actually kind of be the same. Like, I think you might get a little bit more efficient shooting from Cam Johnson, a little bit more. You get a better rebounder traditionally with Kyle Kuzma.
Is Kuzma 2 for 1?
What you mean?
Like, am I giving up Trey and Huerter to get Kyle Kuzma here?
Is
that the deal?
The salaries make it where you have to do that, right? Because he makes 23 million, and you may have to add to get to the threshold needed for the trade. You may have to add somebody. Maybe Kobe Jones works. Maybe Alex Lynn and Kobe Jones work or something like that. But just in your scenario, let's just say yes. Like, it is Trey Lyles and Kevin Huerter.
Yeah, in that scenario, I think I'm sticking with Cam Johnson. So I think if I could just give up Huerter and stick with Trey Lyles, Keon, and Cam Johnson there, it's something I can work with.
I also think Kuzma might be a little bit better defender than Cam Johnson. People
really
talking about defense. I think he might be a little bit better defender. I think it's about the same though.
Okay.
I think it's about the same.
I don't know if I'm hanging my hat on either one of those things.
I factor in the rebounding as well.
Yeah.
And I think Kuzma's a better rebounder than
so it's safe to say then you're taking the dating game Washington situation. I forgot.
In the Washington situation, I did say.
Are you dating 2 girls in the Washington situation or just one?
I'm never dating 2 girls.
I understand that. I'm talking about the Sacramento Kings Washington Wizards situation.
I think
not Kenny Caraway's love life.
I think I laid it out as Valanciunas and Kuzma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's kind of different.
And with with
So now the question,
Cam, you're just giving up Herter. You get to keep Trey Lyles because I think their contracts work the right way.
Oh, so just you said just Herter.
Yeah,
and Trey
you
Lyles.
can you can go
okay,
because I
okay.
think Cam makes 16 million a year. So and Herter's at 14, right?
Herter, I think Herter's a little higher than that, but
Okay.
not much, but I think he's a little higher than that. But I can't remember because this was an eternity ago that he signed, and you've got draft picks hanging on. The trade isn't even complete for Kevin Herter yet.
It's not.
The worst
3
trade
years
since
later.
Deshaun Watson. This damn trade isn't complete. And don't blame Vlade. He didn't do it.
Kevin Herter's at 16.8 million.
Okay.
Even if it is Jonas and Kuzma, I think I'm still sticking with Cam. He's shooting 50% from the field and 42% from three this year.
I don't know if I want to date Brooklyn anymore. I think I'm back to Washington.
And as I look at this, you would need somebody else. And a Cam Johnson deal would be a 2-for-1. Now,
Well, Ham was saying that you could do it with Herter in a minimum.
Yeah, I put Alex Len in there. So that works. But it's still a 2-for-1. And you
I'll take Alex Len out, Colby Jones, you going to Brooklyn.
I'm a little torn. I think, man, if it's JV and Kuzma, I think I'm going Washington.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too.
I don't hate it. I'm stuck on the shooting numbers with Cam. I'll admit.
Cam will be a heck of an option, though. I like his game a lot. I've liked it for a while. I think he's a good fit. Yeah, I'd be very happy if they were able to get Cam Johnson in a deal.
Make sure you end up with one of these dates, though.
Don't be dateless for
there's no, oh, yeah, you know what, fellas, I just closed all the doors. Like, no, better leave here with something.
Leaf says John Collins or nothing. Oh, buddy, it might be nothing.
Yeah, wait a minute.
What if Danny was being real? Like, what if Danny was like, hey?
No, if that's if that's then I'm turning the whole thing upside down.
Danny's like, hey, I'm done being a jerk. I'm willing to play GM. What do you guys want to do?
John Collins is the best player of the group. No.
Yeah,
I think so.
I
guess in this situation,
all things considered, I
guess in Kenny's specific situation, we have to ask: is John Collins better than Cam Johnson, and is John Collins better than Kyle Kuzma and Valanciunas? Mm-hmm. That's how it has to be presented based on your scenario. But I think John Collins is the best player. Yeah, I think John Collins is the best player in that group.
John Collins, if and just doing the trade machine just for financials, that is a 2-for-1. John Collins makes $26 million.
Yeah.
So that's a 2-for-1.
Yeah, that's a Lyles and Herter deal probably
for a team that's already pretty thin. I think
why do you think Alex Len can't play more?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they threw the numbers at me earlier a couple of weeks ago when we brought this up.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't match up with what I see. I don't ever see.
Oh, that's
Alex
right.
Len
we had the negative.
Yeah. And I don't ever watch
right.
a game and like, oh, Alex Len is killing these guys, killing the Kings out there. Like he's either doing some really good stuff or he's just buying minutes for Sabonis. I think he could.
Basically, he's doing his job.
Yeah. I think he could play more, but once again, this is where I go with the Jay Crowder situation and like even Mike before us and now Doug Christie. They see something that kind of keeps these guys.
Jay Crowder, no garbage time minutes on Sunday.
Does it concern you at all that everywhere John Collins goes, they try to trade him?
No.
Like John Collins has been on the trade block for the last 7 years.
Really has.
Yeah. So, but that was.
It could always be like team circumstance and just
but that was it.
And all that, but
that was Atlanta, right?
Well, Atlanta, but it feels like he's been like Jazz too.
No, for sure, yeah. But like, I feel like once you're in the system, it's tough to get out, and that's what I feel like he's just stuck in the system.
Yeah.
Like he signed the deal with Atlanta. Atlanta hated it.
Mhm.
Atlanta signed the deal because they felt like they had to,
Mhm.
and they tried to move off it almost immediately. But every other team did. Right.
Mhm.
We're not helping you. We'll
Yeah.
take that contract from you, but you're going to help us. We're not helping you. And it wasn't until they were able to move him to Utah that something came about of it.
Here's my concern with John Collins. Uncle Loon brings it up. He says teams want Collins to shoot. I know when you read his numbers, he's got great numbers, great shooting numbers, shoots whatever from beyond the arc. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I will look for you.
I'm not confident in him as a shooter. I'm just not. And when you compare him to Cam and Kyle Kuzma, I'm not confident in him as a shooter.
43.8 from 3.
That sounds great. And
he's 52, 83, 86 right now.
It's almost disrespectful to look at those numbers and say what I just said. Like, I'm not confident in him as a shooter, but I'm just not. Like, you got this isn't fair because he's doing his thing, but you've got 1-3 to go to the NBA Finals. I won't even be too dramatic and say what your life.
I'm taking Iguodala.
you taking Domantas Sabonis or Lauri Markkanen?
Oh, Domas is the best 3-point shooter in the league.
I know, but hey, this 3 right here, game on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, you take I'm looking at the 3-point shooting that you got. Well, even go even further. You got Domantas Sabonis or Kyrie Irving. Domantas Sabonis.
I'll take the guy who did it in Game 7.
Domantas Sabonis or Luke Kennard with 1-3 for your season. Like, we can look at the numbers and still.
Okay, I'm taking Domas over Luke Kennard for the record.
Luke Kennard can shoot that.
No, he can, but I'm gonna take Domas. I'm not taking him over Kyrie.
I love Domas, so I'm taking him over everybody.
There you go.
But like, I can look at John Collins' numbers, his 3-point numbers, and not be comfortable with him as a shooter. Like, I just talking about the guys involved in this discussion. Like, I don't feel comfortable giving a John Collins 3, or having John Collins shoot a 3 compared to Cam or Kyle Kuzma, even though he shoots a higher percentage.
Uh-huh.
So when we talk about Kuzma we talk about Collins and his numbers, I'm worried about his shooting when we get down to it. Like, crunch time in the NBA season, in the playoffs, like, I'm worried. That doesn't mean he can't do it. I'm not saying that. I'm not fully confident in it yet.
Let's get TC in here. Elk Grove Kia Talk Line 916-909-1320. TC, what's happening?
What's up with my two brothers, man?
What's up, TC?
Oh, just vibing, man. Tapping in with the homies, the loved ones. Hey, check it out, bro. I'm at this point, man. The hell with that pick. The hell with the protections. Top 20, top what? Listen, get the player or players in here, whether it's going to be Kuz and Val or whether it's just going to be Cam. Listen, we got to get the player in here, and we don't worry about the rest of that pick. We don't worry about that on the back end, bro. The main thing is getting the players in here, right? That's what we all worried about, right? While we work, like, I'm past the protections, bro. Get the players in here. That's how I feel.
All right, TC. Yeah. You know what I love about TC is he doesn't always finish sentences. He just kind of like says words, you know what he means, and then he moves on to the next sentence to try to make another point.
Yeah. And he got to get his thoughts off,
get
man.
The players
in.
Stuff off.
That other James says, if you think Debo or Fox or Debo aren't the ones shooting, then I don't know. I think you're grabbing at straws, KC. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. But what I'm telling you is, if they double, they're in a scramble drill, and they leave somebody open, much like
Malik's getting the ball, but whatever.
Well, look, it's in game 4, first round. Did everybody did you think they drew up the play for Harrison Barnes? No, they doubled Fox. He had to get the ball out of his hands. Harrison was the one shooting. Those things happen from time to time. Mm-hmm. And if Collins is in that situation, Collins or Cam Johnson are the two in that situation, I feel better with Cam Johnson in that shot, taking that shot, than John Collins. That doesn't mean Collins can't hit it or it's not real. I'm just telling you how I feel about the player right now. That's all. the other James.